Hello there, everyone. Welcome back for another episode of the Anime Podcast Show. I don't want to make it awkward, but how's your year so far? Okay, this is pretty weird. Okay, let's go to the first segment of the show, and that would be what anime shows that I got into during the COVID pandemic. After Toradora, I was interested with this series, and someone recommended me to see it. But okay, I'll mention about this. It's another romance anime series. When you're making jokes and pranks to your classmate, if you're confused what the hell I'm talking about, it's Teasing Master Takagi-San. This is an interesting title, though. A little synopsis about this series. It's okay. It's a middle school students, Nishikata and Takagi, sit next to each other in class. Takagi enjoys teasing Nishikata with pranks and jokes. In response, every time Nishikata creates a plan to get revenge on Takagi, but he always fails. He doesn't feel any wins. Throughout the entirety of the story, both of them grows as characters. It got them together. Takagi-San series has been serialized in Shogakukan Shonen Manga Magazine on June 12, 2013, before moved to Monthly Shonen Sunday on July 12th, 2016. As of now, it's already released about 15 volumes, as they got their own spin-off series as well, but one of the spin-offs they had is Takagi and Nishikata are both married. They're a married couple, and now they have a daughter named Chi. For the anime itself, the adaptation was announced August of 2017, and it aired around early of 2018. It actually became a hit, airing for 12 episodes. The people wants more of the anime, and now got 2 more seasons and a movie, but do they have a dub? Of course. But here's the thing. There's actually 3 dubs out there. It gets a little bit confusing. Let me break it down. The first season was dubbed by Funimation. Season 2 is dubbed by VSI LA. Because the second season was streamed by Netflix and licensed and distributed from Netflix. And season 3 is dubbed by Sentai Filmworks. But some of the English cast from season 1 reprised their roles. What has been my interest with this series? Like I just mentioned, I just got a recommendation to see this. I cannot tell you this, because this is a private story to tell. I'll tell that story one day. But back then I didn't know anything about it, so I took a crack on the season 2 episode, and I was hooked. And that is it for me for how did I get into the Master Takagi-san series. So let's move on to the next segment, and that will be anime at the movies. The next film that I got to see in the theaters, and that will be the latest Dragon Ball movie, Superhero, as the next Dragon Ball movie as Dragon Ball Super brand. This is the first time being produced using a 3D animation and a little bit of 2D animation. For the fights, but I gotta say, it's an incredible film, and this film makes the return for the Red Ribbon Army. Also, for me, it felt nostalgic and feels like I want to watch the series again. But before ending this segment, I want to share this story. I found this information long time ago. This is very fascinating. This is between the movies around Resurrection F to Broly, and at the same time, it was airing the Dragon Ball Super TV series. And of course, for Resurrection F, that movie, we had the resurrection of Frieza. So Frieza came back. So at that time, I heard rumors saying that Cell would be coming back in the Dragon Ball movie or series one day. I don't know. But Akira Toriyama said in an interview in 1 year, he kind of saying they're kind of hinted getting Cell for the future project into a theatrical film. I'd believe and not thought this film became a box office hit, but only in anime. I can't even believe what just happened. But by the way, I want to mention, if you all haven't seen it, or if you haven't got the chance, I hope this is going to be on digital very soon in the future for the English and the Japanese, because by the time of this recording, well, the film has already been finished their run. So that's all I gotta say. Now, moving on to the last segment, and this will be the last time I'll be talking about this. And this last segment of the show, and that will be remembering your childhood watching anime. There's a few shows I want to talk about, and I haven't spoke about it yet. I've actually forgot to talk about it. But there are like a fewer shows like adapting, original, and like even sequels that I didn't mention about. And all the shows I watched over the years when I first started watching anime in 2003, and then in 2017, that's when I came back. So I completely forgot, but it was all over the place. Because back then we didn't have technology or even like our own sites or anything. Like we didn't have our what's called my anime list, and that never got existed. And yeah, it's all over the place. So this is the first series I want to talk about, and that would be Zoids. This was around 2005 ish. Do you guys remember? Do you guys remember Blockbuster? Back then, you can rent DVDs. So yeah, so back then I had rented Yu-Gi-Oh, Beyblade, Digimon, and of course Zoids. It seems a pretty interesting series, but I didn't know that they have a few different series for Zoids. The ones that I remember is the most is the New Century and a bit of Chaotic Century. I think that's what it calls. I don't remember. Okay, this one is around mid 2004, and I saw this on the VHS tape. It was Digimon Tamers. I'd think I rented it as well. I don't even remember, but the only thing I remember was saw the first 3 episodes on VHS. Then I think weeks later, saw Tamers, and I believe was aired on Fox Kids or Cheese TV back then. It was only reruns, but I don't remember. I really enjoyed it, most in the first 2 seasons. But around of 2011, I found the full 51 episodes on YouTube, and I was happy. And it's funny that I'd watched it before I was going to school by that time. Then in 2005, at the same time with Duel Masters and Crush Gear airing in reruns at the same time, this series was never expected that I'm going to see on TV. You guys will recognize this phrase. Let it rip. Beyblade. Man, that's another series I enjoyed watching. And that's another favorite of mine. I'm actually an OG of the series. But during that, when I came back in 2017, I'd watched and rewatched the series some episodes never seen before, but a few episodes I'd seen on TV or DVD. But it was really interesting to see it again. But in 2008, I didn't know about this. I saw this on DVD I don't remember. It was a DVD store I remember. They are selling Data Squad, but back then never heard of it. It looks like interesting, because I remember buying the toys and bringing it to school. Of course, Agumon was my favorite character in the Digimon franchise, but I didn't know he would come back. It seems interesting. But the thing was at the time was the cast is so different. The English dub cast was so different. Then years later, I done research. It was dubbed by a few cast from Digimon that I never thought who are new to the franchise in, I don't know, around 2006, 2007 when the dub came out. I don't remember. And that was I was like, saying what now? I just didn't know. And it was by Studio Apples. Studio Apples in LA, they dubbed it. And then the last series I want to talk about is that I watched this series. I know everyone watched the show back in the day in 2008 to 2012. And you all remember playing this game? It would be called Bakugan Battle Brawlers. Yes, that series. Not the Battle Planet. No, I'm talking about the OG. That one came out in 2008 to 2012, in the late 2000s. And it was funny, I didn't know about the series and that the cast was pretty good. And of course, I remember I was obsessed playing the game, and I was I think I played it all the time in school. And also, like I like to add is that when I came back, I'd rewatch the first 16 episodes and watch from episode 17 to the finale in season 4. But man, these franchises I remember growing up, it's just brings back a lot of memories though. And they were been a part of my life, and now I cannot wait to share more anime shows I'm going to share in the future. And yeah, that is it. That is it for this episode, and take care of yourselves, everyone, and see y'all in the next episode of the Anime Podcast Show.